So everybody knows this presentation has now started recording. It will be recording only the screen that I'm sharing, but questions asked in the chat I will read aloud so anybody watching this afterward can hear the question and answer. Let's get going. Okay. Let me back up one real quick. So we're here today to talk about proposed fee changes for the County Fair, specifically in entries. We have identified potential increase in the fees in open livestock and 4-H wristbands only. This presentation is going to be very short, hopefully very succinct, but give you opportunity to ask any questions you might have or give us something to think about as we move on to the next steps of the process, which I will go over at the end of this presentation. But the presentation is basically why are we looking at changing our fees, and then what are the fee changes as it relates to open entries and 4-H wristbands. Other fees have been identified to change in in all vendors at the Coconut County Fair, not just food. And that's it. We are not looking to change any admission fees or fees for all other entries besides open livestock, and no changes for 4-H entries, the only change being in wristbands. But let's move on to why change. We started a fee assessment at the end of the 2018 fair, looking at any fees that might be time to adjust. What we found out was that most fair fees have not been adjusted since probably around 2006. Actually, I've been saying a decade, but it actually predates that by a considerable amount. So we haven't looked at the fees at the fair in a long time. In the meantime, costs have risen for the goods and services that it takes to put on the fair, and specifically putting it on and offering entries at the fair, particularly again in the open livestock. And here we go. So in the next two slides, I'll show what the fees we are looking to adjust are. Open poultry and open rabbits are currently at 50 cents per entry. We are proposing a $1 entry fee per entry. And open horse is currently at $3. We are proposing raising that to $5 per entry. All other entries are free and would continue to remain free under this proposal. For 4-H wristbands, we offer one wristband for each exhibitor, as well as one per parent. Wristbands include admission and parking for all 4 days of the fair. And if you need additional wristbands, if you have a larger family, grandparents coming into town, wanting to see the show, or really the idea is that these wristbands are for parents and exhibitors to take care of the animals, their exhibits, with parental support. And we do offer 4 additional wristbands that 4-H families can purchase. Currently, an adult wristband is $20 and a child wristband is $12. We are proposing that the adult wristband be raised to $25 and the additional child wristband be raised to $15. There is also a current fee for a replacement wristband, and we are proposing to do away with that additional fee in favor of just whatever. If you need an adult wristband, that would be $25. If you need a child, it'd be $15. Instead of doing a replacement wristband charge separate onto itself. And those are the fee changes. So again, open livestock would go from 50 cents to $1, and poultry, rabbits, and cavies, horse from 3 to 5. Nothing else changes. And then for the 4-H wristbands, we would still offer the comped amounts, the one per child and one for each parent, as well as you would still be eligible to purchase 4 additional, but the 4 additional would be charged at a slightly higher rate. The adult wristband with admission and parking for all 4 days is a $52 value that we would be selling for $25, and the child $40 value for $15. And the next steps, next week on the 28th, we will be going to the Board of Supervisors for a meeting where we will discuss the fair financials, an overview, as well as a discussion on these proposed fees, as well as the vendor proposed fees I mentioned earlier. That will be at approximately 2 o'clock, 2:15 on the 28th, at the Board of Supervisors chambers in the on Cherry Street. 219 East Cherry Street. Man, it's been a while since I've said that address. I apologize. And from that point on, we will have the discussion with the Board of Supervisors. There will be a 60-day public input process where, again, your comments would be welcome. If you didn't get a chance to see this meeting on the live stream and ask questions, you could email us and let us know any questions or comments, concerns you may have. You may attend the Board of Supervisor meeting on the 28th to talk directly to the Board of Supervisors about the questions, concerns, and comments. And then after we discuss with the Board of Supervisors, we have another 60 days of more opportunities for discussion. We want to make sure we have thought about this every which way. And so I really highly recommend that you take advantage of those opportunities. On the 29th, the day after the Board of Supervisor meeting, I will send out a recap of anything that may have happened to keep you guys informed. All of this leading to a potential April 1st date where we could release the fair book, start accepting entries for the 2020 fair, and move on with the 2020 event season. If you do have any questions, comments, concerns, that is my direct phone number and email address. Please let me know if you have anything at all. Otherwise, we will continue to move forward with this process. If you do have concerns, please let me know, and we will take them back to the team and address them and make sure that all considerations have been met. If you have any further questions, please reach out. Otherwise, we will see you guys at the fair. Thanks. Bye. All right. And now we are still, I guess I should have said that ends the presentation, because we are still here with our 3 guests, I guess, including myself and Brian. So 1 guest. Christina, do you have any questions you would like to put in the chat right now? I'll read it aloud and answer it, and then that way anybody else who watches this later would have the same question answer. Okay, Christina said, no, it all looks good, keeping up with the times. And thank you for that feedback. That is something we have been aware of as the cost of putting on the fair has risen. We obviously are trying to meet the demands and continue to put on a great event, continue to grow and expand. And we are looking at reasonable ways to bridge some of the gaps that have been created in 14-year span of not looking at not addressing the fees. And I think in my estimation, this is step 1. Step 2 would then be a regular look at our fees on not an annual basis, but on a regular basis, like we do our department fees. And so this would be the first step. So we're not trying to do this again, trying to balance out 14 years worth of changes. But thank you, I appreciate that. And if there's no further questions, I'm going to wrap up the presentation and end the recording. Going once, going twice. All right, thank you again for joining me, and this concludes our presentation.